Good morning, viewers. Today we have the pleasure of having the company of Mr. Kamal Tandon, Executive Director, GAIL India. Welcome to our show, Mr. Tandon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving your time.
Thanks a lot.
So, can you, though everybody knows what is GAIL and what it does, but can you just give a brief intro of what GAIL India is all about?
GAIL has been into the core business of transportation and marketing of natural gas. And as a forward integration, GAIL has been into petrochemicals also. Based on natural gas, we have petrochemicals complexes. So GAIL is actually into natural gas, petrochemicals and the other liquid hydrocarbons related to this chain.
It's been a 35-year-old company, it's almost. So how, is there any major change in the business model?
Actually, change has become the call of the day today. And I have been, especially for last few years, I am seeing every day is changing.
Okay.
Every day is changing. The markets are changing. There is more and more pressure on working. Marketing and selling was easier before than what it is today. So that's how the scale has gone up. Today, the economy of scale, if you talk about, the figures are very high.
Yes.
So we don't talk less than 1.5 million tons of a plant today.
Okay.
And then with the expansions coming over, not only in India, even abroad. Today you see there's a surplus situation in most of the products everywhere. And overall the whole world has become a global market. So gone are those days that we were happily selling within India. So today the world is our market. So
Okay.
we have to keep selling, we have to keep an eye on what is happening abroad. As we just mentioned that we export to all these countries. And I think there's going to be a time when, the import and export will be as normal as, it happens within the country.
It will be at par, you mean to say?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's going to be some differentiation as long as these barriers are there, tariff barriers are there. But then still with these high volumes, what happens is when a bigger plant comes within the country, it takes about a few years' time to grow because the country will grow by 8%, 9% every year. And by the time the complete capacities are absorbed, you will find new capacities coming in. So that's what it becomes, and that's why I'm saying that it becomes a global field now, that you have to keep importing and keep exporting.
So you've been into marketing since beginning, as you shared. So what are your views regarding importance of market intelligence for growth of a business? And the GAIL is a huge scale, you operate on a huge scale. So it would be interesting for our readers to know how things work out at this scale.
Yeah, I think we can't survive without market intelligence. I think that is something which is required for your, to make your own strategy. How do you go and sell? And the basic concept of, fulfilling the needs of the customer. I think unless that is the best understood by market intelligence, what is going to happen in future, that is what is required from the market intelligence. So we need to have the complete market intelligence to take better decisions.
Okay. So what are the channels for market intelligence you use? So it's some on-ground field or some tie-ups with some distributors, or how the market intelligence travels to your office?
See, in our distribution network, we have consignment stockists.
Okay.
And but we are also directly associated with our customers. We have our own offices on pan-India basis at different consumption centers in major cities. We have our own offices, and we are in touch with the customers. we keep an eye on what is happening in which sector where we are supplying our material, what is the growth taking place, what are the expansion plans of our customers and all. And also through our own consignment stockists also some information comes into. And we have the subscriptions of the major, reports, the major, the companies who are doing the
research.
market research and giving us the reports. So we keep buying reports. We have regular subscription like Platts. We have subscription like InfoDrive, and we analyze the data which comes to us from these subscriptions or the reports. And based on that analysis, I think we decide our strategies, we decide our prices, we come to know what are the price trends, what is going to happen in future. I think that's the key today. Information is a key to decision making, and that's what is done by the market intelligence.
So a lot of feedback comes from the CXOs that too much of data bogs them down, and so how do you make sure you are able to go through this so much variety of information in a shortest, quickest time? So what is the format? How do you look at this information so that you can quickly get what you want to see and take a decision?
Yeah, you are right. I think sometimes it does happen that way, that too much of data also creates more confusion. So I think one has to be very clear on what is required.
Okay.
So at our end, we actually try to match what we require and what we are getting, and we design some formats on what is it that we require for our own decision making, what is it we require for our future predictions or profitabilities and all. And I think we try to focus on that data which is required for us, and filter on the data, analyze the filtered data that helps us better.
What would be your advice to top management of a company to stay updated on market trends?
Oh, very essential. I mean, we need to be updated today on market trends because, as I said, margins are under pressure, and you have to keep working out what is going to happen in future. That's very, very important, and that is where the strategy comes into place. And unless we know the price trends, we can't really say that how is going to be our strategy. So these trends, whether it is a price trend or in the trends in the supplies or whatever, we have to keep an eye on what is happening, what capacities are coming on, not only within the country even outside, what impact will be there of these capacities on our markets. You see, 5 million tons of ethylene capacity was installed in US last year. 5 million tons have been installed this year. That's what we are actually witnessing the impact in our markets too. So it is very essential to have that market information and to keep those trends so that we are ready for its impact.
So if I want you to rate information as need to have, necessary or compulsory for top management, how would you categorize this?
As I said, information is the key to the success of the decision. And I will say today we are now reached a time when it is very compulsory.
Compulsory.
Yeah, because there was a time, yes, that when it was required, but okay, you were able to pull on. But today I think it's become compulsory because without that we can't survive. We can't survive. Our decision even on a daily basis and our every decision, whether it is price or anything, is dependent on the information today. Okay. And why the frequency is more? Because the volatility is so much. that yesterday's information may not be relevant today.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a information on real-time basis.
True.
So that is what is required on a daily basis, and even we also are getting our daily and weekly reports,
Okay.
and we also are seeing that there's so much of volatility. The frequency of changes are so high that you need to update yourself and change your decisions accordingly.
Yes. From your valuable experience of 22 years, what would be your message to my readers in terms of using the information, in terms of strategy and planning?
I think I would only like to say that time has come when the information or data, this has become absolutely mandatory and compulsory. The time is changing so fast, as I said earlier. The information every day adds on to your decision making, and sometimes we do feel, and sometimes we do have that confidence that okay, based on our experience or based on our gut feel, we'll be able to take this call or we'll be able to take this decision.
Yes.
But I think my message to all the readers will be that I do respect your experience, I do respect your gut feel, and I am sure with your experience you are right. But please take my word, if you are taking decisions in addition to your gut feel, if you are considering the data, considering the analytics, considering the information available, your decision is going to be much, much better, and that is what is going to be the key in future.
So it needs to be a good balance of gut feel, risk-taking abilities and information all put together.
Yeah, you are right, but I will say today information is becoming more and more relevant, and so in that balance I will, earlier the gut feel percentage was little higher,
Okay.
but I think today the information percentage is going
should be
higher than the gut feel.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kamal, so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It has been
insights.
a good interaction with you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'm sure our readers must be delighted with the insights provided by you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.